What's this all about?
What are you guys even doing here?
What are we doing here, Billy? What are you doing here?
Well, I got invited. I was asked to come over here and kind of yammer a bit.
Well, let's have a little bit of yammering. Thanks and infernos. Thank you guys as always. We really appreciate your support of the show, but more importantly, we appreciate your support of our amazing guests that we get to conversate with. Of course, the devil, the vampire, but more importantly, we got Billy Bryan hanging out with us, man. We've got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Dan
We've got
Aykroyd must have been around here somewhere, thinking of something. Like, why do you think of Stay Puft?
we got Stay Puft. We've got the Pit Bitch. We've got so much fun stuff to talk about. But of course, first and foremost, Billy, thank you for some of your time.
Hey, it's a pleasure. Thanks for caring.
Absolutely, for sure. And I mean, we can jump right into it. You built the suit. You were in the suit.
I did
and
that.
With the continuation of the series in Ghostbusters, not only always continuously growing in popularity, but having the new current movies that it's doing. But how do you look back at the movie all this time later?
Well, every time I see it, I enjoy it for various reasons. One thing, I mean, how many quotes do you use from Ghostbusters every day?
So many.
Every day.
At least a couple of. I mean, how many times you said, nice shooting Tex, or this is Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, or let's see, you deserve it.
I always say when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
No, all right, okay, check this out. You know the Stray Cat strut?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Were you here 2 years ago when Ari Lehman was playing?
No, we weren't here for that one.
I saw him here. I had met him a while before, and I went over and I thanked him because he had inspired me to start to include music in what I was offering. He said, really, what do you do? Well, for instance, you know the Stray Cat strut? He said, yeah, you guys play that? We could work it out. Because I do the Stay Puft strut. You know, it goes... Ooh, ooh, sounds scary already. Marshmallow Stay Puft stepping on a church. Ooh, wishing that he got a little piece of the merch. Ooh, he's a sailor in town, recently paid. This guy'll be fine if we just get him laid. It's Stay Puft strut, I'm a ladies' man. A candy Casanova, I'm as sweet as I can. The mean Ghostbusters with the proton throwers are trying their best to melt me into some more.
Devil, we might have to put together a compilation album, man.
Yeah, there you go.
So Ari said, hey, we're going to play a show later on, and if you'd like, we'll call you up after we're done. And so they played their thrash metal stuff, and people were dancing and bumping in each other the way they do. And so I got up, got the mic, I said, well, this next song, it's going to be a bit more mellow than what you've been hearing. So if you need to mosh, please try to mosh mellow. And then we went into it.
That's awesome. Actually, there's a convention that Devil and I are looking at attending a little bit later that Slim Jim Phantom's going to be at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, the drummer of the Stray Cats.
Stray Cats. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've done interviews with Ari before. We got to see the first Jason's play.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Big guitar.
Yeah.
That he does.
After he was after my song was over, he said, "Up first, ladies and gentlemen, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and first Jason on stage at the same time." And then this.
No,
But
please.
You know, you remember Call Me Al?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, Marshmallow Man walking down the street says, "Why am I soft in the middle?" Says, "Why am I soft in the middle when I should have been J. Edgar Hoover? I'm selling photo opportunities. I get a lot of attention. How'd I end up a cartoon at a monster convention?
Oh.
Ghostbusters. Terror dogs in the moonlight, far away in the next block over, Mr. Marshmallow. Get these mugs away from me. You know, crossing streams is not amusing anymore. I will be your Gozer God. You can be my longtime fan."
I love it.
You can call me Billy or Stay Puft when you call me the Marshmallow Man.
I love it. I grew up on like Simon and Garfunkel from my parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I always love You Can Call Me Out, and I think that's super duper awesome. Devil, before I kick it over to you and let you take it away, you built the suit as well as played in the suit.
That.
Was that always the plan?
Actually, I didn't know that I was going to get to play it when I went in for my interview, but once I told them how I was going to build it, they said, okay, then you'll wear it too.
Make it fit you.
Well, okay. And so I did. I made it fit, made it comfortable, and, the rest is history.
Did you ever have any reservations about stepping on a church?
Not about stepping on a church. My wife did tell me she would divorce me if I put on a burning costume.
Oh.
So Tony Cesar did the burns. She did divorce me, but it wasn't because of that. So let's see now. Other reservations? No, you don't have to make reservations to step on a church. Come on, you can just walk in and step on it.
Nice. Speaking of people that might not always be as welcoming, Devil.
Oh yeah, so we talked about working on the Army of Darkness. Talk about working with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. As the one of the most iconic scenes in that beginning, just setting up the movie exactly with the bell bitch.
He's pretty amazing. Sam is so fun. I mean, I didn't just tell you how I got the gig, did I?
No.
No, I told somebody else that came by. Because I was working at KNB. They were doing the effects for Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And they asked me to make some background skeleton suits, just black unitards with foam bones glued onto them. And so I was doing that, and then they came in and asked me if I would add the various body parts, not the head and hands for the pit bitch, but just the I think she was even almost pregnant or something. Anyway, so my friend Brent Armstrong, may he rest in peace, he had sculpted two different pit witches. One was sort of your standard old lady Meg Mucklebone looking kind of thing. And then the other one. How are you?
Good, how are you?
This guy, I forgot your first name. Craig, right?
Yeah.
Craig Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell? Okay. Now, wasn't Joe Bob Briggs there at that event? I thought so. I didn't know who he was at the time. And just last weekend, I finally got to see The Phantom of the Opera with Joe Bob.
Okay, yeah.
Introducing it and interrupting it and of course, what's her name?
Darcy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody loves
Dressing
Darcy.
up the stage. That's always nice. It's so good to see you. What a pleasant surprise. I didn't just right. I was just telling him about everything. About how I got the Bit job. I told you that one, right? How I've been making
Army of
Darkness, and so there were two pit witches sculpted, one kind of regular lady and one this boogity thing. And Sam was afraid that maybe it was so over the top that it would be a laugh instead of a scare, and he wanted a scare right there. So they wanted me to try to convince him. And so they had me put on the suit. They were having a meeting in the office, and I was waiting and hanging around, looking like that. And then I got an idea. I said, bring me a piece of plywood. So I just stood on this piece of plywood as if it was the bottom of a stand. And I, froze when he walked in and waited until he got close enough. And I got to him. And he said, all right, it's in the movie and I want him in it. So nice. That's how you make your own.
Make your own magic.
Exactly.
Yep.
Great to see you, Chris. All right. Such a pleasure. Yeah, I did a show for Craig up in Gettysburg in 2019.
Oh, nice.
And I was just talking about it because of just seeing Joe Bob.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing the Phantom.
Oh, yeah. No, we
place.
love Joe Bob and Darcy. Everybody loves Darcy. Though.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't know who he was. And it's funny because he was about that far away. But not knowing who he was or anything about him, I didn't really. I mean, I may have paused for a moment, but I didn't introduce myself, I'm afraid. And so, but of that, I was remiss, definitely remiss. Anyway, so where were we? Talking about everything, right?
Talking about everything.
Did I tell you about my resume rap?
Oh, well, I think you
Sort
mentioned
of
it back in autograph time, but I think we need to talk
Okay,
about
so-
your resume wrap for the Fangs and Infernos.
Let me explain. You see, in 2016, when the Girl Ghostbuster movie came out, I was asked to go to Japan to I don't know, sign some autographs. But there were a couple of uh, screenings of the new film. What was it? Answer the Call, or no,
Afterlife or Answer This,
whatever it was.
something. Yeah.
Anyway, you remember?
Yeah,
The girl
Afterlife.
one.
Oh, the girl one was just Ghostbusters.
it.
It was Afterlife was
No,
it was
it had-
Jason's
it had a little
first.
bit more.
Yeah, I think it was
Name.
another.
Anyway, whatever
Oh.
it was, doesn't matter. I'm standing there in a movie theater in Japan, and some pretty little Japanese girl raises her hand for the Q&A, and she says, "We know that you were the Marshmallow Man, but what else have you done in your career?" And I had a bit of a log jam. I didn't know how to get started, and so when I went home, I said that will never happen again, and I'll have something to say next time. And actually, I went to an event in South Carolina, I think it was, and some fella came over to do an interview with me, kind of like this. And first question he asked me was, "Well, we know that you were the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. What else have you done in your career?" I sat there. I looked up. I said, "Now?" They looked down and said, "Yeah, I guess so." So I said, "I've been a schmello, been a schweezel, been a bitch in a pit. Chucky wasn't done until I done my bit. Zebras and lions would never have met. Alien cocoons, that giant marionette. Fairy tale hen with her golden eggs. And a comic Kezardrix, what you think of them? Green blobs, eaglets, young pteranodons, a talking oak tree, and a heart for King Kong. He's the man, he's the man, he's the Marshmallow Man. If any man can do it, that's the man who can. Every day I hear it, anywhere I am, give it to the Marshmallow Man." And it goes on for another couple of verses. So if you go to YouTube and look up under Bill Bryan's resume rap, R-A-P, not W-R-A-P, you'll find it. The thumbnail is the Hollywood sign. So take a look at it. Turn it up. Listen. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, nice. And then talk about some of the other movies. All the stuff that you've
were
worked
these
on.
things? Oh, well,
Talk
let's-
about working with Robin Williams in Bicentennial
Oh, my
Man.
God,
The
Robin.
late great
Oh, yeah.
Robin Williams.
It's funny. I first met Robin in probably 78, before he was Mork. I was working at NBC on The Tonight Show and things like that. And they were doing Laugh-In again. George Schlatter was trying to bring Laugh-In back in 10 years later. And so I happened to go down to visit somebody in the wardrobe department, and then the next stage, I just sat in to watch whatever it was they were either rehearsing or shooting. And here comes this young unknown comic out on a stage in a towel, and there's kind of a rudimentary locker room set, a couple lockers and a bench. That's it. He comes out, he says, "Men, you're men, I'm a man. We all know that as men, we don't always want to spend all that much time getting dressed after we work out. We want to just get out there." And so what we have is a new product, and he takes a spray can, spray socks. He puts his foot up and he sprays his foot. But the first time he does it, he hadn't shaken it. So no paint came out on his foot. So he said, "Hold it, cut. No, it's Robin, wardrobe, somebody's got to..." Okay, prop came out and shook the can. Okay, all right, we're set. Let's go again. They went again. He did it entirely differently and even funnier. It was anyway, when he was done, I left thinking, wow, this guy. And then later, the next morning, actually, I went to breakfast in the canteen, and he's standing right next to me, and we ordered our eggs together, and then we sat and talked for all of breakfast anyway. I told him about how I was doing Shakespeare out in Topanga, and next thing I know, a year later, he's Mork, and he's the Grand Marshal of the Topanga Days Parade, because now he's moved there. I think I can take a little credit for that. Yeah. And while there, actually, I took a couple, or somebody took a couple pictures. I had some weird foam things. I put one on his head, and he wore it and laughed about it. He didn't remember it when we were doing Bicentennial Man 20 years later. But I showed him the picture, and he said, "Oh, that's what I was doing back in '79." So funny thing is, Robin and I are the same size. Except that he was making a little more money than I was, and he was doing more mountain biking than I was doing. So we just had to leave a little bit more room in the suit than uh, than I had for those two places. But other than that, I mean, we built the suit on me,
Oh,
Oh, nice.
and so we there were various versions of it along the way. Remember, iMac had come out with the aqua and clear or white. And anyway, that little iMac. So we did a version like that. It would have placed it in time a little bit too securely. So ended up changed. It had a different. It was more like this sort of beige gold champagne. Anyway, that kind of color for the suit. And I, when we first got the job, it was partly we got it because I had made. Remember, Superman Lives? There, Nick Cage was going to be Superman.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
going to die, and then there was a regeneration suit that was going to bring him back to life. It was Christmas time. I needed some work. I was working at Steve Johnson's XFX, and they had the preliminary job for that to come up with a suit, and so they were sculpting this suit that it was like ribbons of clay around vacuum form panels, and the panels didn't move. It only moved in between on the rubber sec. Anyway, it wasn't going to work because there wasn't enough movement, enough room for things to move. I said, "Give me a bunch of those vacuum form parts, and let me just go up in my loft and fiddle with them for a bit." And I created. It was like armor, clear armor, hung together with little sort of strands. I was using springs at first, but they didn't like that. And finally, they were inside uh, tubing, actually clear plastic tubing, and so um, it was an entirely hard suit, overlapping plates. Well, when it came time, the movie didn't get made, and so we shelved that. But we had footage of the suit with lasers inside, and shooting out and all that. So when it came time, uh, that was shown to the producers, and they said, "Oh, you can obviously make a solid suit, so let's get started." So they gave us a chance first to build an arm. So I made the arm here. Somebody else did a hand, and I decided that it would be cool if, like an action figure, you know how the ball shows in the middle of the joint on a Spider-Man action figure.
yeah.
So I made a ball out of little leaves that overlapped, and then elastic on the inside, so it would collapse and then open up. So it looked like the bar was there or disappearing inside the arm, but it was really just collapsed. Anyway, so that they were impressed with that. The other guy, he had like accordion uh, things on the fingers, and they looked terrible. We ended up using the little ball. But so there were a bunch of parts that I ended up designing for it over the course. And then we got to where it was about time to shoot, and they said, "Who's going to dress him?" And I got invited partly to dress Robin and to double him in the suit. So I ended up, he did 40 days and 49, well, 40 days in the suit, and I did about 25, maybe 26. Most of my scenes were just over the shoulder, doing the drawing, catching the spider and taking it outside and releasing it
Oh,
in
yeah.
the wild, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Robin was afraid it would get under the panels and bite him. So I got that scene, just the hands really. And then one day I was sitting on set talking to his assistant, and I mentioned that I'd done some foam carving on toys and on hook. And she said, "Wait, you can carve?" I said, "Yeah." She said, wait a second. And Robin comes up and says, "Billy, can you do the carving scene tomorrow? I'm afraid I'm going to cut my thumb off." I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I got my own scene where
Oh, wow.
little Miss is sitting there, and I'm just yeah. She hands me a tool, and I, tick, 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 tick. Just enough to raise a curl of the wood, so it looked real.
Yeah.
And so that's my scene. Plus, remember Little Miss in the movie,
Yeah.
and she was the Pepsi girl.
Oh yeah.
Who did you know that she's Jesse Eisenberg's sister?
No.
Yeah.
Hallie Kate Eisenberg. Whole family was doing a lot of auditions and getting a lot of the parts.
Oh, nice.
So sitting around backstage, I taught her how to sing this particular song. It was a Barbara Streisand song. It was, last night I dreamed I was a tiger in the jungle. Yes, I was a big bad tiger till a lion killed me. And then I was an elephant, a great big elephant. There wasn't anything I couldn't do till they caught me and they brought me to the zoo. And then I was an alligator, crocodile, no, an alligator with a big fat mouth and 4 very funny little legs, which are no good for dancing. And then I was a dancing bear, and I was doing my dancing where the bears dance, but I was sneezing because I was a dancing polar bear and it was freezing. And then I was a tall giraffe. I looked so ridiculous I wanted to laugh, but a giraffe can't talk, so how can he laugh? And whoever heard a giraffe laugh? Then I woke up, and I was not a tiger or an elephant, and I was not a alligator, crocodile, no, an alligator. And I was not a dancing bear, a tall giraffe. I was only me, and that's the way I'll be. Yes, that's the way I'll be. I enjoy being an oyster. And so Hallie learned the song and performed it for the crew one day. And so it felt like, boy, I've slowed down production enough here. So I've done my part. So what else? I don't know. Did you have another question?
Oh, yeah.
How about Men in Black?
Let's definitely talk Men in Black.
This was I had this idea.
Because I also like that scene too.
Don't get too close to him. He's crouching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, guys? It's from Ghostbusters. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. They just...
The Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah, right. Or the Michelin. No, it's the love child between the two. That's what I heard. So, remember the Puttermans?
Yeah.
They were a family of robot-like characters that had batteries in their backs, and if they didn't have the right battery, the Duracell, I think it was, Duracell, then they would, like, grandma goes face down in a plate full of noodles and that kind of stuff, Well, we had done one set of those. I made their costumes, the outfits out of foam that they then covered with the clear glaze. And we'd done the first set. Then the second set was about to happen. We had an earthquake in LA in '94, and a bunch of the roads got stopped, bridges collapsed and things like that. So one of the shops was outside the city far enough that Greg Canham rented one of Steve Johnson's extra units to build Earth 2 in. Clancy Brown,
Yep.
It was sci-fi on another planet. Well, I was asked to, because of the Putterman sleeves working like robots, they said, hey, could you put together the arms for this robot, and then we can... anyway, so we're going to go shoot in Santa Fe area. Could you come for the summer and dress him? But Steve said, hey, the second attack on the Puttermans is about to happen, so could you go? Take a week, show him how to do it, and come back. So I did. I came back after a week, and when I got back, he said, oh, Puttermans had postponed. But, well, since I told you, come back, I'm going to pay you, but I don't really have anything for you to do. So you've got a couple of jobs coming up. Lord of Illusions is one of them. Trying to figure out some ideas. So could you just go up in your loft and come up with something? You get a vague assignment like that. It's not easy to know exactly what to come up with. And so when I get an assignment or that kind of loose thing, I'd like to seek inspiration.
For sure.
I like to go for some inspiration.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm saying. But I'm up there in the loft, and I'm full of all this inspiration, and I don't want to just release the inspiration to the room, So I would take a plastic bag and just fill it with my inspiration.
Yeah, a little private inspiration.
And then I would tie it off. Well, I tied this one off, and in my inspired state, it stretched a little. I said, wait a second. I didn't know that would happen. And so I started fiddling with plastic. First, I just this little thing, and I showed it to Brent Baker, may he rest in peace. And he said, oh, great, Bill, we'll do the whole movie that way. And then we did.
Nice.
So I spent that summer just working out ways to work with plastic bags.
Just inspiring people.
Inspiring people, then being inspired. Found that a soldering iron over paper so it wouldn't stick to the plastic. When the line turns dark, then the trap is clean. No, the seam is incised and you can just peel it off. It's like a sticker peeling off. It's so cool. And then the antennae. See these antennae on the on Slug Guy, or Grouchy as he was known. They were long, elaborate little balloons. They've already curled. Actually, somebody made me a little brass wheel that went on the end of the soldering iron, so I could make more intricate turns and things. And so that's how this happened. And there were all kinds of mechanisms and things across the back of this creature. So for 3 months, I was working on this Slug Guy, and I made everything on it, which is why it's my favorite, because it was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I welded up this little thing, like a kind of a wag tricycle, kind of like, and it had wheels and like a railroad train. I don't know why they have that bar between them, but it links them, right? And power transfer and all that. Well, it had that, and then there was a stick coming off the side. So as the wheel went around, the stick would go back and forth, and I had this big inflatable tentacle connected to that. So as it's galumphing forward, the shoulder, and if you go back and watch this scene, back it up just before they walk down through the, beside.
Like when they get off
customs,
the elevator.
Right. Yeah. When they're in the elevator, I think Will says, hey, you asked me, I got the skills, but don't be calling me kid or whatever, none of that.
Whatever you say, Slick.
No, he said, but as of this moment, your skills mean absolute dick.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
And then the door opens and we can see, I think it's right there where you see me coming around the corner, maybe a little later. But anyway, so that you can see the whole body. And then we get down and it's only from the waist up, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
When he says, don't get too close to him, he's crouching. And so, anyway, it was so much fun.
And it also had to be really cool reconnecting with Sam when you did Spider-Man.
Yes, that was cool too. That was. I got to be, let's see, we puppeteered Doc Ock's tentacles.
Yeah.
And we spent 4 months working out the operation scene. They gave us that to figure out if you guys were going to do this, how would you do it? And so with the puppeteers, we went through and worked out how we would do it. There were some things that we came up with that they were real impressed with until we told them how we did it. Like this one guy who gets the tentacle, grabs him and shoves him up into the light fixture, and then sparks fly. Well, so we set it all sideways and put him on a gurney and slid him into it that way.
Oh, okay.
And they saw this. How'd you do that? And they said, we can't do it. We got to hook up a guy and haul him up. So, because, we're back farther. Anyway, what else can I tell you? I don't know.
No, absolutely.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah. No, man. Just, what, as we're going, what do you like the most about, doing these kind of cons and meeting fans? Obviously, like I said, people that know, you can tell you enjoy doing that.
Actually, I'm so shy. I can't really talk to people when they come by.
Yeah.
You know that. You can tell, right?
You tell. Oh, yeah. We got lucky.
You gotta wish it.
He was inspired.
Yeah, I was actually strangely. Yeah, last night we went to Jimmy's. You know Jimmy's?
Yeah.
The crab cakes and
Yeah.
whiskey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, whiskey and crab cakes. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
That's how you loosen them up. That's how you loosen the steak puff by whiskey and crab cakes.
That's what I heard.
No, absolutely. Well, Billy, we can't thank you enough for giving us some of your
Yeah.
time to talk and
Hey,
share
it was a pleasure.
share these great
Pleasure.
stories. And
Yeah, we love hearing about it.
absolutely. And let the Fangs and Infernos know, is there anywhere in particular that you can be found, a website or anything like that?
Well, of course, on
Facebook.
Instagram, bill.staypuffed. There's that. That's easy enough.
Yep.
There's also a Patreon, Building Stay Puffed, where I show how I built. I did about 7 or 8 lessons, and I got to a point where it's like, I'm not getting enough customers. And I was paying my son to edit them together, and I couldn't afford it finally. So I kind of stopped halfway through the head, I'm afraid. But maybe I'll get back to it.
Awesome.
Who knows? But let's see. Oh, also Cameo. You want to go to Cameo and ask for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? I can
Oh,
do,
nice.
do a little, howdy.
Absolutely, for
Awesome.
sure. Well, Fangs and Infernos, thank you guys so much. As always, keep
Fangs
supporting
and
Billy.
Infernos.
Yep, everything that he's doing, and we really appreciate his time. We appreciate you guys always supporting our show and all the great conversations that we get to have. He's Devil, I'm Vampire, but most importantly, he is Billy Bryan. Thank you so much, Billy. We really appreciate you again.
Good times.
Horns up. Fangs out.